Thanks for joining us on a Tuesday. I'm Marlin Bohling with you and glad to be a part of your day. Thanks for allowing us to come into your home, your vehicle, wherever you may be here on RFD TV and Rural Radio, Channel 147 on Sirius XM. Well, let's turn to Ben Hushon of the Mill in Whitehall, Maryland. Every week at this time, we like to find out what's going on in the Mid-Atlantic states, and he joins us right now. And Ben, thanks for joining us. Sounds like you've been kind of a busy camper here over the past week. I understand you actually have had some corn harvest underway, but you also had your own little field day there for your local producers. Tell me about that stuff.
Good morning, Marlin. Yes, we've had above average temperatures, just like meteorologist Tim Roth said. We've been in a warm pattern, and we're going to stay in one. It looks like 80 degrees. It's kind of odd, Marlin. We're not getting much sunshine. So corn, as you mentioned, corn harvest. There are some folks that have started. I haven't found anybody yet who's under 20%. They're all in that 20-22%. Starting to harvest corn that they were planted in April, some of their 100-day corn, 105-day. So it's coming. Looking forward to another week of warm weather to hopefully speed that dry down. And you mentioned their field day. We did the crop showcase that we hold at Clear Meadow Farm every year. One of the stops this year was focused on fertility, in-furrow versus pop-ups. Everybody's talking about pop-up fertilizer. We did some comparisons, had some plots, and actually brought a speaker in focused just on what are we seeing with this high-efficiency fertilizer. Marlin, it's not 1960 anymore. Fertilizers have changed, and we need to open our eyes and kind of look and see what they can do for us.
It's amazing the technology that's incorporated into modern farming these days. In fact, you might just quickly explain to our viewers and listeners that may not be initiated with that, the difference between your in-furrow and your pop-up application there.
Well, for years, liquid fertilizers gave us the opportunity to start putting fertilizer right in with the seed, and of course the belief was let's put a couple gallons, low salt, don't want to burn it, and get that corn up and rolling until it can reach the rest of the fertilizer. Some of the newer fertilizers out, you can put more gallons in, and they are more efficient, almost like a chelated mineral in cattle feed for those who feed cattle. And a pound is a pound, no more. There are some products out there that you can put less down and get more efficiency out because, again, it's not made the same way as fertilizer was in the 60s. Some of it still is, but we're trying to search out the ones that aren't.
You mentioned that corn harvest is just getting underway. What other crops are they going to be harvesting?
The corn silage is wrapped up. Grain in our part, we've got a couple folks that put out a little bit of sunflower crop. Some of that has started to mature, but primarily in our area, other than hay, folks are looking to that 80 degrees. There'll be some hay cut if we can get some sunshine through. And other than hay and corn, that'll be about all that'll get harvested in our communities in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, Ben, excellent update. Thank you for sharing everything. And again, congratulations on another successful annual field day that you hold every year. So we look forward to the future updates coming out from your area. Hope everybody stays safe during the harvest season this fall, and we'll check in with you next week. Ben Hushon is with the Mill. He's based in Whitehall, Maryland, and we always love to find out what's going on in the Mid-Atlantic region. We'll check in on the futures trade when we come back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thanks for joining us here. I'm Marlin Bohling, and again, our thanks to Ben Hushon of the Mill in Whitehall, Maryland. All right, let's take a look at our futures trading and also the outside markets. A lot of interest in things like the U.S. dollar value today. You'll note that the top calendar month here on the table for the U.S. dollar index is now December. And that December contract on the futures is now standing at 91.670. It is down 150 points on the day. The March down 220 points. When we first checked it this morning, it was down about 220 points, so it's firmed up a little bit off of that, but still weaker on the day at this point. If you look at the crude oil trade, let's go to the West Texas Intermediate futures, and we have the October contract at 50.01 per barrel. That is a dime higher on the day. November up a nickel at 50.40, but still all the contracts across the board on the West Texas crude oil are now above 50 bucks, that benchmark. Let's take a look at heating oil, see how the diesel fuel market is holding up today. At this point, we have October futures on the NYMEX now a half cent higher, and they are trading at 178.5 per gallon here on the diesel fuel futures. They traded as heating oil on the NYMEX in New York. November now almost a half cent higher as well. Okay, let's take a look at our grain trade. Well, the corn harvest came in at 7% done yesterday. That was a little bit of a bullish surprise, but we're not seeing that being reflected in the futures today. Corn is actually down 2 3/4 cents now on the December contract. We're trading at 3.48 3/4, and wow, it's only one tick off our low of the day right now. We're about a nickel off of our earlier high. March down 2 3/4 at 3.61 1/4 per bushel. Meanwhile, on the soybean trade, let's take a look there. A little bit of a surprise. We had a 1% decline in the good to excellent ratings on the soybeans yesterday. That didn't seem to help the market either. Remember, yesterday we had about 1/3 tons of soybeans that were sold for export. Didn't hear anything about that this morning, but that did support the market yesterday. Now today, remember they kind of faded into the close yesterday. Today they're seeing follow-through selling here. November soybeans down 5 1/4 now at 9.62.5. And that's well off our earlier high by 9 cents. January soybeans down 4.5 now at 9.73.5 per bushel. Soy products, let's take a look here at the soy meal and oil for you. On the soy meal trade for your feed component, you have the October contract down $2.80 at 306.20 per ton. And if you look at the soy oil trade right now, you have that October contract down 11 points at 34.08. Well, looking at the wheat trade today, in Chicago wheat first, we have December down 2 1/4 cents at 4.41 1/4, just one tick from our low of the trade so far today. Kansas City wheat on December, we're now trading at 4.40.5. That's down 1 3/4. And if you look at the Minneapolis spring wheat trade, we have the December contract 1 3/4 lower at 6.20.5 per bushel there. New crop July is still one tick higher. Cotton market today on the December contract, we have December now 3 points higher at 69.53 cents per pound. So it's getting up toward the top of the trading range today. It sold off there for a little while on the open. Now switching over to the livestock trade, we'll get you updated on live cattle first. Currently, we have the live cattle October contract 37 higher at 107.95, and now you have December up 30 at 113.25. On the feeder cattle trade, currently you have that October contract 50 higher now at 152.45, and November now 55 cents higher at 152.75 per hundredweight, and that's almost $1 off our earlier low today already. So a rebound taking place in the cattle complex. On the lean hog trade, right now you have your October contract 48 cents higher at 60.48. That has rebounded about 80 cents off of its low from this morning. And December now up $1.10. Wow, how about that? 59.15 is now your last trade. February 63 higher at 64.28 per hundredweight. So a rebound all the way around in the entire livestock complex.
Turnaround Tuesday.
Right.
How do you like that?
Wow.
Markets editor Marlin
right.
Bohling, thank you so much. We'll see. A lot more trading to go.